Police brutality. The use of excessive or unwarranted force against civilians by police officers. With the new Force of Law war bond, we can finally use our power as an officer of the law to convince these violent rioters to disperse through less than lethal means. And as a quick reminder, less than lethal does not mean non-lethal, so we will still be killing things, just in a much more justified manner. So every piece of equipment in this build comes from the newest war bond, the Force of Law, which includes the Pacifier Stun Assault Rifle, which to me looks like, feels like, and sounds just like the Peacekeeper. God, what a sexy gun. It fires stun rounds that are not only medium armor penetrating, which is a nice touch, but they stun whatever it is you're shooting at. So as long as you're shooting your target consistently, the target will stop and ponder their existence for a while before remembering it hates you and wants to kill you. The Urchin Sticky Stun Grenades, which are the same as the Thermite Grenades except with electricity instead of molten magma. They're honestly pretty mid unless used in a very specific way. You can't just throw all four of them onto a Bile Titan because it really just shrugs them off. The better way to use them is to throw them onto smaller enemies that are in groups, such as Devastators or the Brood Warriors. That electrical arc will connect to all of them and stun a larger group for a short amount of time, but still kinda mid overall. The Guard Dog K9, which is basically a guard dog with the Blitzer shotgun attached to it, and this guard dog is really good at crowd control, pun intended, and killing your teammates, so big dub for that one. And finally for the build, we have the Arc Grenade Launcher, which is the grenade launcher form of the Arc Thrower, and oh my lord, it's amazing. Most of the time. I really don't understand it. Sometimes I will launch 6 grenades and kill nothing, other times I can get 30 kills in 2 seconds, so I don't know. It's a little inconsistent. One caveat to this build is my secondary, which I purchased from the Superstore, the Rocket Pistol. Basically the final evolution of the Gyrojet. The smart targeting. With smart targeting that sends 3-round bursts of rocket-propelled projectiles into whatever it is you want to stop resisting. You can also set it to non-targeting and use it like a normal pistol, but there are a few instances where you'd want to do that. And I was using the first armor set you get in this war bond, the Correct Officer, which gives a 25% resistance to all explosive damage and prevents all chest hemorrhaging. Not bad. So how did this build perform, you may ask? Well, I think this build and overall playstyle is actually one of the best universal builds, because it isn't necessarily the best on any of the fronts, but because there are better builds for each specific altercation. And unless you bring the Eagle 500, 110, or the Orc, then you really don't have any heavy armor penetrating or anti-tank capabilities. This build really focuses on crowd control and crowd dispersion. And by the way, I do think the game is lying a little bit here because it says the Arc Grenade Launcher is only medium armor penetrating, but you can actually kill Hulks and Chargers with it, and even sometimes Bile Titans if you get them low enough, if their health is low enough. And it is still rather inconsistent with that. Sometimes you can kill a Hulk in 2 shots, other times you could dump 8 into it, and then, you know, other times you could dump 8 into it. But nonetheless, you are not helpless when in contact with these larger enemies, especially when you're with teammates. Which leads me to the overall point of the build in general. You should really be focused on killing larger hordes of smaller enemies and stunning larger enemies such as Hulks, Chargers, and Flesh Mobs, so your teammates can have that much more of an easier time killing them. Also, you have nothing to destroy anything with, so because the Arc Grenade Launcher and Urchin Grenades cannot blow up bug holes, factories, or squid ships, your job with this build is to ensure your teammates are unbothered by fodder enemies and left to kill larger enemies and destroy outposts with their equipment. The build, whilst being rather limited in your ability, is still very fun to play. And I do think the war bond is worth your money. The Urchin grenades are pretty mid, but the Pacifier grenade launcher and the Guard Dog K9 really do make it worthwhile, I think. So there really isn't much else I can say about this. I'm going to go ahead and take a shit ton of drugs and take this counterfeit $20 bill down to the corner store. I'll see you guys later. Why is that bald white guy doing squats?
Like the video. Like. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Ring the bell. Ring the bell.